So you don't own a gimbal yet, or maybe you do, but you want to refine your handheld operating skills. I'm covering the following handheld cell phone operating movements: the push in, push out while rotating the cell phone, handheld shaky shot, the higher than life handheld shot, and a wide angle freestyle. Kicking things off with the simple push in, push out movement. As you can see, the footage looks relatively smooth as is, with zero post-production stabilization added to this clip. This is because there is in-body image stabilization built into my iPhone. Many phones offer IBIS, and if your cell phone does have it, I suggest using it for this shot. While I'm pushing in and out on the artist, I'm making sure to roll my feet from heel to toe when I'm pushing in and toe to heel when pulling out. This is most commonly referred to as the ninja walk technique. If you feel your shots are coming out shaky, even with in-body image stabilization on your cell phone, simply slow your movement down by at least 50% speed for the duration of the performance scene, or until you feel comfortable picking up the speed again. Similar to the push in, push out movement, we're now adding a rotation of the cell phone from left to right as we push in and out from the artist. I personally absolutely love this type of handheld shot. It adds a whole new layer of handheld movement to your video that is, believe it or not, difficult to capture even on a gimbal. As you push in on the artist, start rotating your cell phone to the left or right. At the end of the push in movement, when you start to immediately push back out, you will rotate your camera back to a neutral position or continue to rotate it to the opposite side as you push back out, as seen here. Next up, we have one of my favorite handheld shots with a DSLR or mirrorless camera for music videos, so I had to include it in this list, but using a cell phone. I call this the controlled handheld shaky shot. Essentially, what you're going to do here is plant both of your feet on the ground and tell the artist to do the same. I direct the artist to use a lot of hand movements as well as movements in their shoulders, but to remain standing in one spot. Now, in terms of your cell phone movement, a lot of people will give the cell phone way too much shake, which compromises the footage as there's just way too much going on in the video. I always tell people that you want to vibe the camera to the beat of the song. When the song slows down, slow your handheld movement down. When a drop hits in the song, jerk the camera from left to right and back to the artist's face. Today's video is sponsored by Epidemic Sound. I've been using Epidemic Sound for 6 years, whether it's for paid client video work or my YouTube content. My favorite feature Epidemic has to offer is their AI video upload song matching tool. Simply upload test footage of a project you're working on to Epidemic Sound, and their AI platform will spit out a long list of songs that match the vibe and pace of your video, saving you hours of finding royalty-free music that fits the vibe of your visuals. Not only do you get a library of thousands of royalty-free music, but you also get access to thousands of realistic sound effects. Click the link below to get a free 30-day trial to Epidemic Sound that can be canceled at any time. No commitment necessary. Now let's get back to the video. When the artist picks up and gets faster, pick up the pace of your handheld shaky motion. I always say as well that this is a good rule of thumb to lock your elbows and shoulders in place while filming. This eliminates your cell phone from becoming off balance and tilting while filming. You want the camera to be level and your handheld stance nice and solid. Next, we have a camera angle that has some human psychology behind it. Slightly pointing the camera up at the artist while filming a performance scene, making them appear higher than life. So essentially the psychology behind pointing the camera up at somebody makes them appear higher than life or above everyone because the subject has to look down on the camera or viewer of the video. This shot really puts a spotlight on the artist and can be implemented into any of the handheld shots I've mentioned, as well as the last one on the list, which happens to be wide angle freestyle handheld shots. For this scene, we are indeed using the Moment wide angle lens, but if you don't own a wide angle lens for your cell phone, you can just use the wide angle preset on your cell phone's camera. The wide angle freestyle shot is a lot of fun to shoot because as the performance scene goes on, you can film whatever you feel looks good. Whether you want to do a slight push in, push out movement, add in a camera rotation here and there, it's totally up to you. I always felt that taking full creative reins on set and freestyling my wide angle shots helped me become a better handheld shooter quicker. Those are my 5 tips for filming handheld on a cell phone. I promise you that once you get used to these movements with your cell phone, these techniques directly go hand in hand with filming handheld shots with a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. So by getting the repetitions in with your cell phone, I assure you that when you pick up your first camera body and use these techniques, you'll already be comfortable using an actual camera body over a cell phone. Not to mention, there is nothing wrong with practicing these handheld shots at your own home. I suggest finding a hallway or open area where you can simply practice your push in, push out movements so you're comfortable trying these out on a real music video set.